Yeah.
Okay. I was born and raised in South St. Petersburg, Florida, Childs Park neighborhood on 14th Avenue South.
That's marvelous. So this is interesting because I know some things, and I don't want to overshare in my conversation. I don't want to speed to the end at the beginning. But what schools did you attend?
I'm a graduate of Lakewood High School, Center for Advanced Technologies. I attended Florida State University, where I received my associate in arts, and a graduate of the University of South Florida, where I got my bachelor's degree, and I'm currently one semester away from receiving my master's degree from the HBCU, Bethune-Cookman University.
Oh, that's marvelous. Now, Corey, what type of child were you?
Oh, my
How would your
gosh.
parents describe you?
Well, it depends on which parent you talk to. If you talk to my mom, she would tell you that I was mischievous. She'd tell you that I was a troublemaker and that I was always looking for something to get into. If you talk to my dad, he would tell you that I was the boss. I was a leader, and I was also the one who always knew what I wanted. I had drive, I had ambition, and I tried to do the best that I could in all that I did. My dad always taught us, in all that you do, give 110%, and I was always an overachiever.
So you're Corey Givens Jr. So who is Corey Givens Sr.?
Corey Givens Sr., my dad, he is a third generation St. Petersburg native. He retired after 25 years with Bay News 9. He worked in broadcasting, which is the reason that I decided to pursue a degree in mass communications and journalism. And my dad is also one of 5 kids, so I come from a really big family.
That's excellent. And then I know that your dear grandmother was the wind beneath your wings. And everything that you did, she was always showing up. So can you tell us a little bit about your grandparents on your dad's side?
Of course. One of the last times I was here at the hangar where we're shooting this was with my grandmother in this very room. My grandmother and grandfather, they were both natives of St. Petersburg. My grandmother was a second generation native. She came to St. Petersburg behind her mother and father, who settled here in the 1920s. And when my grandmother grew up, she grew up in a segregated city. So she graduated from Gibbs High School, which was historically an African-American high school. And it was there that she met my grandfather, who was a teacher at that time. So she ended up matriculating through Gibbs, attending Florida A&M, came back, became a nurse at Mercy Hospital, which was a historic African-American hospital at that time. And my grandfather put in 55 years at Grant Carlisle Ford, worked his way up from a janitor all the way up to a lead car salesman. So I like to say that I'm a son of St. Petersburg.
And the 1920s, where did your great-grandparents come from?
My great-grandparents came here from North Florida. My grandmother's side of the family came from a little city called Graceville, Florida, in Jackson County. And my grandfather's family came from Madison, Florida. He graduated from Gibbs High School as well, a few years ahead of my grandmother.
Oh, that's excellent. That's a beautiful testimony. Now, what did they do for occupation and things of that nature? What do you know about them?
Yeah, my great-grandparents, to my knowledge, my great-grandmother was a domestic. So she worked for a lot of the old families here in St. Petersburg, the Williams family. She worked for them. She also worked for the Moffett family. And my great-grandfather, to my knowledge, he did a lot of odd jobs as well. These were people who came from the country, so they did not have much of an education. But I do know that he was a Mason. So from what I've heard, legend has it that a lot of these brick streets around here in St. Petersburg, he helped to pave. So if you're ever driving down in the area of like the Warehouse Arts District or over in the Pink Streets, you'll see a lot of those old Augusta, Georgia blocks. And so he helped to, like I say, lay the foundation for this city.
That is absolutely marvelous. There is a gentleman that actually laid all of the infrastructure and for the water systems. That's an African-American male, and a lot of people don't know that, but the city of St. Petersburg had a black male to actually navigate, engineer all of the water systems here. So I truly understand and recognize how foundational Black Americans have been to actually being the infrastructure and laying streets for many cities in the United States of America, actually all of them. And St. Petersburg, Florida is not foreign to that.
That's so true. My on my maternal side of my family, my great-grandfather, when he came here to St. Pete from South Georgia, he actually came here for opportunity, right? It wasn't too many jobs other than working on a farm for African-American men in South Georgia. But coming to St. Petersburg, Florida, he paved the way for generations after generations to come after him who were looking for livelihoods, right? He came here, found a livelihood, made an honest living for his family, was able to put all of his children through college because of that job. So although he was not able to go to school, the livelihood that he made working here in St. Petersburg provided for him to make a way for his family.
Okay, and so your great-grandfather on your mother's side, what was his name?
His name was Charlie Carter. Willie C. Carter, who built the Carter housing complexes. That's my family line. So I like to say affordable housing is in my DNA because that's what my family did when we came here. So along 22nd Street South and 22nd Avenue South, a lot of those historic affordable housing apartments were started by my family.
And what part of Georgia did the Carter family come from?
Valdosta, Georgia.
Oh, that is excellent. Marvelous. So it's great to know that you know your family line. Not many people have gone back to see exactly where they hail from and from whence they come. But it's excellent to know that you know who you are.